It's time for Don and Ron. You won't get this anywhere else.
All right, folks, welcome back to another edition of Don and Ron. We're talking about putting our stencils on, doing our stencil and laying out for our lettering for the proper end numbers like it was back in the day. You can see we've got the NC and the letters on here. Now we're going to show you how we kind of make our stencil or a pattern for the top of the other wing. So, Kathy, if you come this way, we've simply got our 36-inch wide paper. We've kind of started it down there. Just tack it in place with a little piece of tape. You want to make sure all your wrinkles is out of it. Okay, and that's what we've done here. And again, we got our trusty pencil, and we can see this tape really good right underneath it. And I just take my time. There's no rush here, okay? And really the line that I'm doing down here is not as important as our corner right here. Our corners is what's really, really important for us, because what we're going to do is we're going to take right here in the corner and we're going to cut that out. We're going to let that be our little window so that when we lay it on the top of the wing, now I can come in here with my pencil, or again, like we talked about, my charcoal pencil, and I can go in there and mark the wing. And so when I pull the stencil off, all my points are already in there so that we can do the layout for the tapes on the other wing. So again, just marking it, taking our time. So I can do it, but again, like I said, if I want to, just for grins and giggles. The problem when you do this right here, the paper wants to kind of roll underneath you just a little bit. But again, whatever you want to do, you can kind of see the numbers kind of laying out. On the video, it's kind of difficult for you to see what we got going on, okay? But I just take my time, let that pencil just ride right along that tape. Another reason I like using 3M tape, because it's a little bit thicker. It sticks good. You don't have the bleed under problems that you have with some of the other cheaper fine line tapes, but you can kind of see what we got going on. And if you make a mistake, you can simply erase it, whatever you want to do, okay? It's no big deal. And now right here, I'm just going to cut that little corner out. So that all I got to do now is cut that little corner out, and I'll mark here and here when I put it on the other wing. So again, really pretty straightforward. But making the stencil is what's really makes the top of that other wing so much easier. So you don't have to deal again with all those scallops in the wing where the fabric's trying to bridge in between it. So now we just go down through here, we mark the rest of the wing, get it all situated, look at it again. Don't pick it up until you know that you've got all your corners marked. And once you do that, now all you got to do is pick the stencil up and go over and place it on the top of the other wing. You've already got your 24-inch height set. Remember, you got your 26.5 from the trailing edge to here. Remember again, that 1/4 inch, don't throw it out, let it throw you off. Make sure you got the tape on the right side and your mark on the right side of that tape right there, so that you don't have that extra 1/4 inch or that less than 1/4 inch. So that's kind of how we do it here. You know, other people have probably better techniques than we got, but this works good for us. Suggest you try it. And what we'd like you for sure to do is like us, subscribe to us, share what you have here, and leave us some comments if this is something that's been helpful for you. And again, you'll see some time-lapse stuff as we go along on how we do it between the two wings, and all the way up to the time we paint it. So one other little thing that I want to mention is every time you have your joint on your tape, when the piece of tape goes over the top of another one, simply just take your fingernail and rub it right in that joint. It's going to help bleed unders right at that corner. And when you go to spray this thing, a little tip also, is don't try to flood the whole entire thing at one time. Hit your corners and just kind of dust them in, dust a little paint where the overlaps are. Let that sit for a minute. It'll kind of help seal that joint so that you don't get a massive amount of bleed under if you were to have a problem. And if you do, when you peel your tapes off, take and get you a razor blade. It's really nice when you haven't scuffed the paint that the paint is on, and if you get it quick enough, usually that little razor blade with just a little bit of effort, being gentle, you'll be able to flake that little bit of that bleed under right off. It won't be a big deal whatsoever. Now if you wait days and days and days, it might be a little bit of trouble. But just little techniques that we use when we do our painting, and hopefully you tune in to more Don and Ron's. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Peace out.